Hello, Seahawks, and thank you for joining us for another Student Live. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead and drop them right down below. And if you can, go ahead and take a minute to share this stream with somebody in your social network who you feel could benefit from today's segment. And of course, today we are continuing our Live Your Values series, where we highlight a core value of the college and introduce you to some of the members of our senior management team. So today I have several awesome guests with me to talk about the value of integrity.
Hi, my name is Lacey Hoffmeyer. I'm the college's General Counsel and Vice President of Public Policy and Government Affairs. And what that means is that I lead the legal function here at the college. And I also act as an advocate for the college at the local, state, and federal level on government affairs matters. I've been with the college for about 3 years, and it's been the best 3 years of my professional life.
Hi, I'm Neil Cohen. I'm the Dean of Student Services for the South Campus and Partnership Centers, and also the college ombudsperson. My core role as the Dean of Students is, while I supervise a lot of areas and work with a lot of people, I would say that the essence of my role really is in building an inclusive and welcoming culture within the campus for students, especially, and help creating and nurturing that culture. I've been at the college for about 21 years, and it's a 30+ year higher education career. So it was well chosen, and it's been, those 30 years have been the best of my professional career.
I'm so excited to have both of you with us today to talk about this amazing value of integrity, and really heavy-handed one too. But before we get started, how is 2021 treating you both?
Well, for me, I have a power tower sitting in my living room that's just off of my left here. So that's kind of weird, right? That's my 2020. That's my 2020.
So I'm very hopeful for 2021. It started off really well. I'm up here in Tallahassee right now, advocating for the college as we make our way through the 2021 legislative session. I'm really hopeful from what I've seen so far and how the community college system is valued in the state.
Us too. We have high hopes, Lacey. So we're counting down, like I said, as every day passes by, that it's always going to be like good news or better circumstances. So we're right there with you. I'm excited to talk about today's value of integrity. So to kick us off, I'm curious to know from both of your perspectives and your roles, when you hear the word integrity, what else resonates with you? What else comes to mind?
For me, I distinctly remember being in a high school English class where integrity was a theme of what we were reading. And so through that period of time to the present, it's always been a theme through not only my education, but through my professional career. As a lawyer, we take a professional obligation to represent our clients in a way that best serves that client, but doesn't invalidate the rules that the profession needs to follow. And so when you're charged with that kind of duty to your clients and to the people that you represent, your personal integrity is of particular value because it is the thing that carries you through your entire career, your own integrity, your own reputation as you represent others. So that's really what comes to mind, is this long string of integrity that's existed through high school, through college, through law school, through private practice, and now practice at the college, is that we represent our clients with our integrity, and that our reputation of both our clients and ourselves are of utmost importance. And the way that you preserve that is to practice integrity every day.
Thank you, Lacey. So, when we think about integrity, we think about the idea of being whole, being something that's integral. We could be talking about a physical object that has integrity. And normally when we talk about integrity and behavior, we're talking about being consistent with a set of moral principles. But I think more importantly, the question is, what are those moral principles that you're adhering to? What is it that you're whole and consistent with? And that gives you integrity. So I think integrity, the concept of integrity, is a foundational idea, but you really need to dig a little deeper and talk about how is it, what are your moral principles? In my case, as it relates to me, my time as an advocate for students over decades, what I consider the single most important value is compassion. every decision that we make. We could be looking at a legal issue, though I'm not a lawyer here. We could be looking at a policy issue. We could be looking at student conduct issue. We could be looking at a student life issue. We could be looking at a curricular issue. But in everything that we do, we need to put people first. People come before the work, and people's own human experience, their lived experience, and how they feel about something. You know, there's I wish I could remember who said this quote. Perhaps it was Maya Angelou, but I can't recall. It's just coming to mind. The idea of well, you know, we may forget what people said and did, but we're never going to forget how they make us feel. And for me, that's, you know, that's the part where I want to be whole, where I want to have integrity, that people over time will always know, even if I made decisions that they didn't agree with, that I always, while I looked at what the laws were and the rules and the best interest of the organization and the best interest of all of our students, that I always took into account the individual experience. So for me, that's what integrity is about. It's integrity of compassion.
I love that, Neil. I think that resonates probably very much with our students, because I think both in you and Lacey's experience in your roles, it's hard sometimes to see everything black and white. There's a lot of gray that we operate in sometimes in a higher education setting. And so compassion, I think, is one of those values that does have to always come to the surface, regardless of the issue. So I love that you brought that up. And both of you have very unique roles as it really relates to this value of integrity. So how would you say that your positions at BC specifically relate to integrity, or that they support that core concept of this value?
So I would say in both the legal role and in the advocacy role that goes along with representing us before our government officials, is that you really need to be someone who is always honest, and it represent an institution that is honest about what it wants, what it aims to be. And so when we talk about those core values of what composes integrity, honesty is foundational. So it's important that you never avoid the facts, you never avoid what's true. And often, even if they're bad facts or if they're good facts, you address them head on, and you talk about them honestly. I completely agree with what Neil said, in that that part of integrity is the compassion and also an open ear. And I think that those three things together will start to really guide and to show you what the core components of integrity are. And I would say that those are the things that I've always seen at Broward College, is a willingness to confront the truth, to tell folks what we think, to have that compassion, and to have that open ear when people are ready to respond back to what we have to say. And so I think both in the legal field and in the advocacy field, that holds true, that those three things are really core components of our integrity as an institution.
Thank you so much, Lacey. I really want to piggyback off of that. When we talk about the idea of going where the facts take us, nothing could be more important than that. They're just, I don't even know how strongly, to the students that are listening to this, I don't know how strongly I can impress upon you that being an advocate, as you become a leader in your community, in your student organizations, and politically in corporations, as you move on and get your college degree and move on and assume leadership roles within society, you can be an advocate for something, but people know when you're lying, and people don't like it. And people know when you're omitting facts, and maybe you'll fool some people sometimes, but people are smart. I know we like to think people are stupid. Maybe sometimes people appear stupid, but individually, people really are smart when they're talking about their own interests and their own concerns. And you can't give people false information, and you can't just advocate zealously to the point where you say untruths and you say things that omit core information, or you slant things in ways that are just not real. So I think part of integrity is just going where the facts lead and being, and if someone says something that makes you, if you take a position and you feel strongly and someone says something and they're right, just say it. Just say that's a good point. I stand corrected. You will win so many points for that. And just go where the facts lead.
And I'm sure Broward, like I said, I mean, in its 60-year history, that's, I'm sure, something that's been at the framework of the foundation of what we've had to do is go where the facts are leading us. But both of you have had very different tenures so far at BC in your respective roles. And so during your time, how would you say that you've been able to see Broward College embody this awesome value of integrity?
There are so many ways in which I've seen that that happen. Some I can talk about, some I can't. But let me just say this, that in all of my past experiences, I've never seen the values played out, lived out, committed to in the ways that I've seen it here. And let me just say this, that in instances where we are wrong, we have recognized that we are wrong and that we've done things in order to rectify our own mistakes. And that's, to me, says a lot about integrity, because there's a lot of times where you can ignore the mistakes that you've been made and ignore the people that have been hurt by it. But I haven't seen that at all at Broward College. In fact, I've seen the opposite. I've seen a commitment to make things right when a mistake has been made, and we're willing to admit it. That isn't to say that we, every time somebody thinks that we're wrong, that we also think that we're wrong, because sometimes we do think that we've made the right decision, even in the light of very difficult facts and circumstances.
I would add to that in this last year, during our COVID lockdown pandemic, I think we've shown real integrity as an institution, adhering to our own mission statement. When you think about Broward College's mission of transforming lives and enriching a diverse community through academic excellence and innovation and meaningful career opportunities, and you think about what we did to adapt. I'm just so proud of what we did through the laptop loaner program, to food giveaways that we had, to transitioning quickly to this Zoom type environment, being compassionate with people about the fact that they may have a dog that jumps on their lap, or a child in the background. So where I think the integrity comes into it is that we had these as goals in our mission, in our vision, in our values. And in this last year, as hard as it was, we really were able to deliver on that. And I'm really proud of the integrity that we had.
I think 2020 in and of itself pushed a lot of people, or challenged a lot of people, in terms of what they thought were their values, right? And so it's sometimes in those trials and tribulations when you kind of see people's true colors, or organizations' true colors. And so I love that example of BC standing by exactly what it believes in the most difficult of times, not just for staff and faculty, but obviously for our students that we serve. So I love that. On the subject, though, of integrity, I think it's also important to point out what our students can do as part of that. I mean, a core value of an institution, you hope, kind of bleeds into all aspects of the organization. So not just the people that very clearly represent it, but the people who we serve as part of this organization, which of course are our students. So any advice from the two of you about how students can go about embodying this value of integrity?
Sure. So I think that what I've learned over the course of 15 years in a legal practice is that it's sometimes the best strategy is to address the bad facts first. If there is something hard or if there is something bad that has happened, it's often best to get it addressed first, maybe even matter-of-factly, and then to ask for forgiveness and move on. And that strategy will give you some immediate credence. It'll give you some goodwill with the folks that you're working with. I think the word, sometimes you'll get in a situation where you really want to say something that's provide an excuse, for example, for why something isn't done. And sometimes the best thing to say is the truth. And I find that over and over and over, that people are going to know if you're giving them an answer when you're trying to excuse yourself from something that isn't the truth. I think the best way to always address that is to give the real reason and to ask for forgiveness. And that really does, I've found over and over, goes a really long way.
That was wonderful. I love that. I would add, as it relates to students, I would say to students directly, to the students that are listening to this, is that you came to Broward College you started out with either academic or career goals or both. And you decided you want to be an engineer, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a firefighter, whatever you want to be. You've decided on an academic path. Be true to yourself. That's integrity as well. Do the work, show up on time, sit in the first row, be the teacher's pet, bring a freaking apple to class if you need to. Do what you need to do because you set this as your goal in your own life. So have some integrity. Imagine your mom, your dad, a mentor figure looking at you and saying, have some darn integrity for yourself. Don't enroll in school and waste your time. Why do that? So my guidance to you, if you want to have integrity, is you made the choice to be here. You made the choice not to drop. You made the choice that you want to be a lawyer, like Lacey Hoffmeyer, who's sitting, who's on this call. That's your goal. You got to wake up in the morning and you got to do the work and you've got to turn it in on time and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So have some integrity and do it.
And I think the other thing that's really important to realize is that students may not see it, but there are 5,000 employees behind every student at this college who just want the best for them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So have some compassion for yourself. I know it's hard. I know on any given day, it's hard to wake up in the morning. It's hard to do the work. It's hard to study as much as you want to study. You have so many distractions in life, some fun distractions, some not so fun distractions, whether it be economic insecurity or health issues or this Zoom schooling, working from home thing that's hard. I know that. But if you want to be a person of integrity, ask yourself, what will future Neil say? That's something my daughter and my youngest, I have 3 kids, and my youngest one, and I always, if she doesn't want to deal with something, she'll jokingly say, that's future Ellie's problem. Her name is Ellie. She'll say, that's future Ellie's problem. That's her way of saying, I'm ignoring that. But what we really want to get to is, what will future Neil, future Lacey, future Stephanie be proud of in you? And that's personal integrity.
Absolutely. And I to your point, Neil, it has to do with intent. Absolutely. Like, there's a commitment that goes with wanting to embody that value and stick to the things that you've said, this is going to be a core piece of who you are. Right. Whether, like you said, that's pursuing, education, whether that's job goals, there has to be intent and purpose and strategy behind that all. So I just want to thank the both of you so much for spending time with us today and sharing, like I said, your successes, some of the challenges that come with this value. But I'm so proud, like I said, that we had an opportunity to talk with both of you and listen on some of the wisdom and guidance that you have for our students. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And as always, thank you, Seahawks, for tuning in. If you are watching this episode on behalf of your student club or organization, today's keyword should be no surprise, integrity. So be sure to write that down and remember to check out our survey in the description below and take that and give us some feedback about today's program. And then of course, we hope to see you all once again soon as we continue our Live Your Values series and explore the value of sustainability next week. See y'all real soon.